Hey, did you ever get bullied for bringing a novel to a pep rally? Are you that annoying person who can't go to a single movie without commenting, "It's not as good as the book"?
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me.
Well, congratulations! You might be a Scribes wizard. But what is a Scribes wizard? Well, grab those expensive inks everyone's talking about, get you one of those thumb protectors for excessive speed reading marathons, and remember, you can go anywhere as long as you
Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow.
You know, times change fast in the realms of D&D. Now it seems like every wizard out there has some specific arcane specialty, whether it's fortune-telling, protecting oneself from the outside forces, or violating the natural order of life and death. Don't you miss the times when just being able to read essentially made you magic? It was so much simpler back in the early days of wizardry, when books reigned supreme. Nowadays, these young mages are swinging swords while spellcasting, or trying to do magic in the midst of grand battles. It's all so embarrassing. We should go back to the old ways, you know, spending hours on end, meticulously scribbling down the most mundane facts and figures in the hopes that small amount of insight will give us knowledge into the outside world, so eventually when we've mastered and memorized all of the formulas and equations necessary to perform these spells, we can then enter the realm of adventuring, right? What do you mean, how long does that take? I mean, yeah, most wizards are geriatrics. Okay, maybe we do need a shortcut. Enter the Order of the Scribes Wizard. While other wizards have specialized in their selective schools, scribe wizards are the ones collecting, recording, and organizing the information other wizards may take for granted. And while all wizards expand their knowledge by copying the works of others, more often than not, it will be the scribe's notation that other wizards copy from. In that way, the scribe's wizard is the wizard's wizard, as they make it a point to be the most bookish in the world's largest book club. But you're no slouch either. Collecting knowledge from all the best sources has made your scribe wizard a walking encyclopedia of arcane secrets. So, when a rogue comes at you with a sword outstretched in an attempt to prove their might, it's up to you to prove that the pen is mightier. But first, do you have more random folders than your grandma's home screen? Do you need a website that can sort all your wacky campaign ideas? Well, if you need a place to store, World Anvil has all that and more. World Anvil is the one-stop shop to create a new setting from the ground up, with tools to help you keep track of timelines, record player notes, and bring your reality to life. And since World Anvil supports over 400 systems, you can pretty much write any game at any time, or use their tools to make your own. It's no secret that I love World Anvil, but it's also no secret that I'm a bit of an idiot. So anytime I get lost, I just rely on the sea of World Anvil tutorials to keep me on task. And if you want to give World Anvil a try, you can do so absolutely free. But for even more exclusive features, type in my link below and use the code YMBADND at checkout for 51% off for a year. Again, that's YMBADND at checkout for 51% off for a year. So, go forge your next adventure with World Anvil. A huge thanks to World Anvil for sponsoring the show. And now, back to the video. So you've read so much your grandma got you one of those infomercial book lights as a stocking stuffer. What do you do with all this newfound knowledge? Well, you wouldn't be a magic man without a little spellcasting. Wizards get a bunch of spells right out the gate, but a good scribe will also want a place to keep everything written down just in case.
Dang. What's up with all these books?
And the great thing about your spellbook is that you can flavor it as anything from a set of scrolls tucked in one of those cool tubes, a few wristbands engraved with your spell list, or for the especially studious scribe, an entire bookshelf organized by Dewey Decimal himself. And like all wizards, you also get Arcane Recovery to recover those precious spell slots equal to half your wizard level rounded up on a short rest, so you can keep witching when those other spellcasters start bitching. But at second level, our brains become so dang wrinkly we get to graduate to our subclass a whole level early. But to help us with our scrupulous scribbling, we learn to create a wizardly quill. This literal magic marker takes no ink and, like one of those sweet pens from middle school, can write in any color. You can also erase anything you've written with the feather of the quill, and the time it takes to put spells into your spellbook is significantly cut down from 2 hours to just 2 minutes per spell level, which makes your life a whole lot easier when you're trying to transcribe on the go. But your set wouldn't be complete if we didn't upgrade that dusty tome. Because as you enter your newfound order, even more secrets of your arcane tradition are revealed to you, and your spellbook quite literally takes up a life of its own. Your new Awakened spellbook is a sentient creature, though how sentient may be up to you and your DM. And you also gain a whole bunch of new perks, like the ability to cast spells straight from the book instead of dealing with silly wands or complicated components. Once a day you can cast a ritual spell with its normal casting time through the book without expending a spell slot, which is bananas good for spells like Identify Silence or Comprehend Languages, and the ability to alter the spell's formula when casting by replacing the damage type with another type in a spell of the same level. So to make this work, if you have both Burning Hands and Witch Bolt on your book, you can now cast Witch Hands or Firebolt. Wait, that's already a... whatever, you know what I mean. But since the damage type is correlated to the level cast, not the spell's original level, you can launch a 5th level fireball with the necrotic damage from the spell Innervation for a 10d6 ball of death. And this is just something you do for free to any spell, making spells like Chromatic Orb or much later Prismatic Spray your new best friends, as they contain all the damage options a young scribe can ask for. And if that somehow wasn't enough cool shit, your book can now never be stolen. A common problem with the wizard is that without their spellbook, they lose access to all the unprepared spells in it, and unless you get the book back, those spells are lost until retranscribed into a new one. But that's not a problem for us. Our order's whole job is keeping magical secrets, secret. So if some schlub ends up taking off with your book, all you have to do is get yourself a blank and let your quill copy your entire spell list into the new one over the course of a short rest. Not only will this bring your spellbook's consciousness to the new book, but your old book will be completely wiped, leaving nothing for a rival wizard to steal. Shoo, that was a lot of fun. But we do have more to cover. So at 3rd level, our wizard gets some cantrip formulas to scribble in their books, letting them trade wizard cantrips on a long rest. But bouncing all the way up to 6th level, our awakened spellbook has manifested a mind. Now as a bonus action, your book can appear in front of you as a tiny spectral object and can take on the appearance of anything from an arcane spreadsheet to an old wizard in his pajamas. Your spellbook ghost friend is intangible, doesn't occupy space, and sheds dim light, but can also see and hear with dark vision of 60 feet, and can telepathically share with you any information it receives. But the best part about your new little bookworm buddy is that you can have him fly around as a bonus action and cast spells from their location a number of times a day equal to your proficiency bonus, letting it get in close for spells like Shocking Grasp, or peek around corners for devastators like Lightning Bolt or Disintegrate. This is a wild ability for a wizard to have, as their main problem is getting caught up in the action. And since your writing partner can't be targeted for attacks and only dispels if 300 feet away or hit with Dispel Magic, it's pretty much here to stay. By the way, the next time I get to play this subclass, I'm definitely making my tome LeVar Burton. You can't stop me, the man is a saint, and I loved reading Rainbow as a kid.
But you don't have to take my word for it.
Jumping up once again to 10th level, our scribe becomes a master scrivener, allowing you to touch a piece of paper at the end of a long rest and turn that page into a free scroll for you to use that day. The spell on the page must be of 1st or 2nd level and take an action to cast, but incredibly it can't be read by anyone other than you, and the spell will automatically upcast 1 level higher. So spells like Blindness, Deafness, Invisibility, or Hold Person can target an additional creature through this scroll, or spells like Magic Missile or Scorching Ray can get an extra attack for free. But it doesn't end there, because we also become so good at making normal scrolls, the golden time needed to craft them are halved. I haven't really gotten a chance to talk about how powerful a magic item scroll can be, but this is your opportunity to stock up on shield scrolls and never be hit by incoming damaging attacks again, or sell off your scrolls to the town merchant and start stacking paper by, well, stacking paper. But it's 14th level where we get our final scribe's ability by becoming one with the word. As our spellbook becomes a part of our soul, you gain advantage on all arcana checks as you become a paradigm of magical lore. But you can also negate all of the damage from an attack or spell by spending a reaction to let your spectral spooky paperboy take it for you. You heard me. Your wizard can eat the entire 20d6 fire and 20d6 bludgeoning damage from a meteor swarm as a reaction. But this move is risky, as not only does your spectral mind disappear, but you then have to roll 3d6, with whatever number those dice add up to being the amount of spells you have to temporarily cross out of your book. Now, the spells chosen don't have to be prepared, but if you can't come up with a total, your scribe falls to 0 hit points whether the damage negated would have taken them out or not. This can be a huge gamble play for your wizard, but can also get you out of some deep shit if played correctly. And while the spells crossed out of your book are unavailable to you, even if they're written on a scroll, you will get them back after 1d6 days. At 17th level we get Wish, which is like every 8th level spell from every list, and it's pretty fucking busted, honestly, but it also lets you just break reality by making any wish you can think of. And while this is up to your DM as to how your wish may manifest, I say go big or go home. Wish for the moon to be actually made of cheese so you can go on adventures with Wallace and Gromit. It's D&D, dude. Weirder shit has happened. But rounding off our wizard, we gain some spell mastery at 18th level, allowing you to pick up a 1st and 2nd level spell from your book to cast as though they were cantrips if you have them prepared, and signature spells at 20th level to choose 2 3rd level spells that you can cast once a day for free. For all that extra fireball fun, or counterspell is just right there, so, you know, go for that. So, does the Order of Scribes wizard read the writing in the book? Okay, that sucked, but it for sure leaves its signature on the page. As I said before, the Scribes Wizard is the wizard's wizard, and that really is the best way to say it. And while I joked a bit about old wizards being the idea for this subclass, I wasn't entirely wrong, though you can axe the white beard and cantankerous personality if you want to. But there is something so cool about the idea of a wizard spellbook, and I really like that it's explored so well here. And while you could argue that you lose a little bit of the personality the wizard schools provide, I think your abilities more than make up for it. But my favorite thing about this subclass is how much flavor you can jam into your spellbook. And isn't there just something really interesting about the idea of being the best wizard of the wizards? And no, this hasn't changed my opinion on Bladesinger, that's still really broken. But let's face it, at a certain point you're almost not a wizard anymore. You kind of become a fighter with access to wish. However, the Scribes Wizard goes in the opposite direction, giving you all the stuff wizards love, with a bunch of free castings, the ability to become a scroll printing factory, and a LeVar Burton book buddy to help you learn to read. So, I don't know, that's pretty f***ing awesome in my opinion. So if you talk to yourself so much your book started talking back, you keep making up weird spell combinations like Ice Ball, Cone of Acid, or Lightning Cloud, and have made so much money from selling scrolls in the city you're thinking of retiring from adventuring altogether? Guess what? You might be a Scribes Wizard. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like what I do, please leave a like, comment, or consider subscribing. You have no idea how far that helps the channel grow. But if you like my stuff even more, you can always hit the link and join the Patreon like the wonderful people on screen. And you too can get your name on here for as low as $1 with extra tiers getting extra stuff. It's all on the site. And an extra special thanks to the highest tiered patrons who get to play D&D with me. They are all awesome people and I can't thank y'all enough. So, Miles Not Yard, Sora Sen, King Osiris, Spider Lover, and Tedsy, hats off to all of you. And as always, if you want to yell at me about D&D, find games with swell people, or shout out which subclass you want to see in the future, come see me over on the Discord server. We're always having fun over there. But until next time, guys, I love you, and I'll see you very soon.